Oops. Whoops. Okay. Hi. Let's see. I keep taking take after take, and it's not going to get this done, is it? Just get it started. Can't start good, you have to get good. Today is October 29th, 2018, and I'm Kristen Elizabeth. My last name is Patterson, but I prefer to leave it off to spare the rest of my family so they can live pridefully. I'm starting this because I want to document my progress on a project that I'm going to do. And it's a little bit of an insane project that I only just finished coming up with at the beginning of this month. And I started it, well, it's October, end of October, and I started it in July when Seth Godin, the founder or co-founder of Permission Marketing, re-released his magnificent focus journal. Got the email, and I bought it release day. I was ready and waiting. Actually, I didn't know he was doing it, and then he did it, and I had been waiting for something. Got the journal probably a couple weeks later. This is what it looks like now. It's looked like other things in the past, I guess. Moo publishes it. Went through it 3 times. I've got probably too many projects. I'm that kind of person. Although I was really, for a long time, the kind of person who didn't have any ideas and was very worried about that. But that's only because that part of my brain had been completely inhibited by the mind control center we call school. So, read through the journal 3 times. Then I realized what project it was for, which was my poetry. Possibly what I'd consider the most useless of my projects for impressing upon the world. Well, anyway. So, the idea was to sort out how to justify creating poetry. You're not really, it started early in life. I don't know that I chose it. I didn't write very good poetry. I mean, I would win competitions in school and stuff, but I think that's just because the librarians knew I was a yes girl for them, which is perhaps disrespecting their ability to judge, but they're very nice people. So I didn't stay with the poetry once I became a late teen, I think. I knew it was melancholy shit, and abandoned it. There was no magic in the instruction for it anyway. And we're talking about magic, really. We're talking about conjuring. And it can be good or it can be bad. For good or for bad. Dangerous stuff. Any kind of writing is dangerous stuff. Filled in the journal, and there's processes in that journal for really building. It really follows the creative process really well. And it becomes what I think is perfect, paradoxically, but I'm hoping within a few years' time. If it takes longer, it takes longer. But a cross-country tour, poetry reading tour. So it better be really good poetry. I have all the ideas. I've written out all the ideas for the poems, and I've started writing them. This project will also sort of push my other projects along. Not all of them, but let's say a handful of other projects. Because I kind of need to build all my foundations. I have my own business. I've been in it for a year now, home cleanings, and pay all my bills that way. And that was a jump. But it sets me on my own rhythm, right? And so now to build these other businesses. The reason that I want to document this is because the content of the poems, and there will be essays as well, 14, 16, 17 poems and 14 essays. And but there's the content of those, which I'll get to sooner than later, is different than the content of actually the process of creating, right? I want to handle those separately because I thought it would be really great to document, heavily edit, of course, cut out the the long rambling bits that don't get us anywhere, but create a documentary of the process with my young self in mind and other young selves. Maybe by the time I'm done, the school system will be so changed, and I know it's changing dramatically because there's enough pressure on it. So maybe there are enough young entrepreneurs being helped the right ways. And Gary Vaynerchuk, for sure. I mean, if everybody's on YouTube, so just look up Gary Vaynerchuk. And Seth Godin, of course, as well. I'm also in Marie Forleo's B School. I use Natalie McNeil's planners. Todd Herman is a huge help. Ron Friedman. Followed many others as well, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody right now. Several people. It's a very white selection I gave you, and that's probably no accident, and that needs to change. We'll get there. To start, but if I can put together a documentary and offer a process or a view of a process of how to do well on your own, marketing your creativity, and build that into, reverse engineer. I can thank Michael Graves, who was a designer for Target stores, or maybe still is. I can thank him for his views on the production organization process. The content of the poems, the title of the project so far, which I've had actually for years, and it's based on drawings that I did. I'm on hold right now with it. I was building a website for it. I was teaching art, drawing specifically, locally, maybe 10 years ago, and paused to revamp my program and my interactions with, or my style of no, not style, but methods of interacting with people in drawing instruction. I can get into that in the next video in terms of how I arrived at these drawings, but a drawing came to me, or developed it without being able to see it. I'm not one for visualizing drawings before I draw them. But those drawings stayed in my mind as something that needed to be elaborated upon with words. I think most drawings do. And I want to tackle, I'm not a nationalist really, not politically. I'm more regionalist, you could say. But I understand there's a paradox to this. And I enjoy paradoxical thinking more than any other kind of thinking. Well, I'm awfully fond of logic too, but all thinking, you need all of it. You need all of it. And good luck convincing everybody. I'm a very good salesperson. Sold fabric for 7.5 years. And I really know how to step out of myself, to find the middle ground and cross over the middle ground to be relevant to people with all different kinds of viewpoints. And I wish that most of us were better at doing that. Not just me and a few of us. Is it possible to do anything about that and find out? I'm not really I don't want to say that I'm on a mission though, because that's bullshit. No, I just want to do this thing while I'm here on Earth, while I'm on this land, and I'm an occupier. I see